What's up, everybody? We are going live and we're going to watch the Nick Shirley Expose 2.0. And he essentially broke down the $110 million fraud versus Tim Walz, which was dropped just a few weeks ago. And now he dropped for reelection. Now Tim Walz is out of the race. And this is Nick Shirley's second interview, or his second expose. And we're going to watch all of it. We're going to react to it. And so, with that being said, get out there, spread the message, but let's dive right in. Share the screen here. And we are live streaming. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter X, and we're on Rumble. So, we are definitely in the Matrix. But this time, we're learning the truth about what's going on. So, let's watch this video and let's watch Nick Shirley's expose. Let me know if you guys are seeing and hearing everything correctly.
$1.25 million. No, I'm the only community that does fraud. How come they said this building was closed? Do you guys know where advanced mobility is? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense.
Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Hold on, I'm just going to make sure that we're still filming. Make sure that this is, again, it's the first time I've done this, so I'm not sure if we're getting comments and everything, whether or not we are. Either way, we'll still go and we'll see how it ends up. This is kind of a practice run. First time I've ever really live streamed, so we're going to test it out, see how it works.
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
The Minnesota fraud scandal continues to get worse and worse as billions of dollars of fraud has been exposed. And as I showed the world the blatant fraud taking place at daycares and other locations across Minnesota, it became the most viewed video expose on the internet and created instant change within the government as the Fed sent thousands of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Walz call people like me white supremacists and far-right delusional conspiracy theorists for exposing the fraud, meanwhile, he actually dropped out of running for re-election. The Minnesota fraud scandal has erupted the nation as protests and riots took place, all starting because daycares like Quality Learning Center were exposed. However, the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots for you, exposing all of the fraud from strange connections of the business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have Dave.
And if you guys didn't know, Dave is a former police officer. Dave has experience with helping crack these kind of cases, and he's actually known to be pretty diverse in the realms of, again, exposés. So again, this is going to be a part 2 of Nick Shirley's expose of these Minnesota fraud, the Somali fraud that's been taking place mainstream. And I think everybody needs to be talking about it and how important that really is. Let's keep watching.
Daycare fraud, you have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more fraud. What's some of the fraud that's also taking place here inside Minnesota?
Well, what I think might be sort of the heart of the beast here is this transportation fraud. And what I mean by that is in Minnesota, we have something called non-emergency medical transportation, NEMT. My research has shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota, and more than 90% of them are Somali owned.
So right here on the table, what do we have? All this information right here.
So I have a number of companies that are located here in the Twin Cities, and this is just a fraction of the companies that are out there. What I found was that the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles per company. A lot of these companies, their address is an apartment, some are in a house, some are in a convenience store, some of them in a vacant building. There's no signage, there's nobody there.
And so why is there such a need for all these transportation companies here inside of Minnesota?
So if you think of this transportation as the hub of the wheel, so childcare is a spoke, adult daycare is a spoke, autism is a spoke, the interpreter services, which we can get into, that's another spoke. It all ties back to transportation. Why? because those meals had to be, someone had to deliver those meals, someone has to deliver the kid to autism, or say they did. So it all revolves around the transportation. And so when you're looking at this, you say, okay, well, let's just be conservative. Let's go on the low side. Let's say there are only 800 Somali-owned non-emergency medical
This is so
transportation companies
crazy.
in Minnesota. Well, again, the average is 20 vehicles per company. So that's 800 times 20. And the way these NEMT companies are paid is if they bring someone to a doctor's appointment, whatever the case might be, or Costco or wherever they're going, because remember, it's non-emergency medical transportation. Well, we went to Costco because they have to eat or they'll die. So that's considered, right? So it's almost impossible to figure out from the outside what exactly the payments are for each of these trips, but I have a pretty good idea. So when someone provides a transportation to a facility or a location, they're also paid for the time to sit there and wait for the appointment to end and then drive the person back. So they're paid three different ways. And the average is going to be $50 per trip. So it's going to the appointment as a trip, coming back trip. So that's $100 per round trip.
Wow.
So if you have 800 companies in Minnesota that are NEMT companies, they all own 20 vehicles, and they're all making 10 trips a day, and it's $50 per trip. So it's 800 times 20 times 10 trips times $50 a trip. Do the math. And the reality is, how many of these trips are being provided? Zero. They don't have to provide any. Why? Because when they are paid by the state of Minnesota, these companies go online and they fill out a form, and it just says, okay, how many trips, how many miles. They submit that electronically to the state, and boom, they get paid. Nobody bothers to check. They don't call the dentist, did this kid show up? They don't call them. They don't do anything. As soon as that form is filed with the state of Minnesota, that payment goes out immediately.
And so essentially, these transportation companies
That's crazy,
are
guys.
all the fraud together because you have the daycare centers.
We gotta
working with the
expose it.
transportation companies, the adult daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the healthcare companies working with the transportation companies. So it's just another way to bill and to also make it look like something's happening here inside of Minnesota.
This is the belly of the beast. All of this fraud revolves around these transportation companies. All of it. This touches every part of fraud here in Minnesota.
And today we're going to go confront these people. We confronted them last time. There was no kids in any of the child care centers. And today, what do you expect to see?
I think we're going to see some vehicles because, you know, when I drive around the cities here, I see these Somalis driving. Mostly it's like a Plymouth Caravan or whatever. And there's never, ever, ever been a passenger. In
Crazy.
7 years, I've never seen a passenger in any of these vehicles. I've followed some of them. They're going to Costco, they're going to Sam's Club, they're going to Walmart. The driver gets out, goes in there, loads up a shopping cart, comes in, puts it in the van, and off they go back to where they live.
And now we're going to go out and see what's happening with these transportation companies.
And here's the other thing. Tim Walz and the Department of Human Service, you threw the people of Minnesota under the bus. Shame on you, and I'm coming for you.
And that's right. Tim Walz, he needs to be held accountable. And we all need to be sharing this video. If you're liking this, share it. I'm not sure. Again, this is kind of a test run. We'll get right back into the video here in just a moment, kind of seeing what's going on. It's like we got one viewer. It's probably me. Anyways, let's just keep watching and we'll keep commenting on this Nick Shirley expose part 2.
You heard it here first, David. All right, let's go. So where's the first location we're going to?
The first location is a company called Safari Transportation, Cedar Avenue South in Minneapolis.
And so what makes Safari Transportation Company an interesting transportation company?
Well,
Allegedly fraudulent.
Well, the thing about Safari is that they've been registered since 2015 with the state of Minnesota as operating vehicles. And again, the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles. So if they've got 20 vehicles and they're at 607 Cedar Avenue, I have no idea where there's parking them because there is no parking anywhere near this office.
We've arrived to the transportation company. We're outside, and right there we have a Loving Arms adult daycare. All the windows are completely boarded out right there. And there's supposed to be a transportation company registered right here. It's 617, but it's a liquor store. And so the location here is 607 and also 617. These are two transportation companies. We're on a main road right now, and this is 607, and it is not a transportation company. It's actually a money transfer, but it's registered here, 607. This does not look like Safari Transportation. Where is the transportation company?
I don't see any signs denoting that there's any transportation. It's all just, looks like money wiring. But if you look at the Secretary of State's office, state of Minnesota, Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue, and it's been
Look at this guy back here. This dude back here is like, oh shit, we just got caught.
registered here since 2015. That was the original filing.
So let's see if we have the manager. Let's see if we can find Todd. Hello. How are you? We're looking for the transportation company.
Safari Transportation?
This is the big clip
Looking
that's
for
been going
Safari
viral on
Transportation?
X right now.
No Safari Transportation?
Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue.
We're just looking for Safari Transportation. So, but this is registered for Safari Transportation,
That's the
607.
address.
we don't know.
We're asking where Safari Transportation is.
We don't know.
Okay, so the business is not here.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar?
don't know.
We don't know. We have no idea.
Okay. Well,
Get out of my business,
this
my
is
place of
fraud
work.
taking place. This is supposed to say, this is for Safari Transportation.
Go find out.
Yeah, we did find out. This is fraud right here.
Registered here
This is
since
registered.
2015. Safari Transportation, state of Minnesota.
Ah, you guys got caught.
Current, just off the state of Minnesota website today. This is
They're not happy about it.
Printed this off today. Fuad Omar.
Go check it out.
We're here. This is 607. Where's Safari Transportation?
It's not Safari here.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent business.
Did you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly. It's
Did
not
you see
here.
it?
It's a fraud.
Did you see, sir?
Okay, thank you. We're gonna go to the next address. All right, let's keep moving on. So
And caught.
607, this is supposed
And
to be
caught.
Safari Transportation, no transportation company, and now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually Cedar Riverside Liquor. Where is the transportation company?
617.
617 right here.
Green Transportation for the state of Minnesota is registered to 617 Cedar Avenue South.
And it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
We got to get more Americans just doing this all the time.
Green Transportation?
It's honestly inspiring.
617, Dreamline Transportation. Where is the transportation company?
You ever heard of Safari Transportation?
Safari, I know Safari, that many wiring, 607.
The money wiring.
Yeah.
Okay, that's money wiring.
Yeah.
We're looking for Safari Transportation.
607.
They said they never heard of it.
Safari, company, the many wiring, they say money there, that's 607.
So Safari gets the money and then they wire it out.
Yeah,
Outright
That
fraud.
man just said that Safari is actually a money wiring company, so therefore they're receiving money and then wiring it somewhere underneath the name of a transportation company.
They said to go here.
Suite A right here. And then you have 617A right here, but this is reliable services, immigration, travel, and tax. I do not see a transportation company anywhere.
Morning. Hey, we're hoping to find Dreamline Transportation. You ever heard of him? He said to ask here, so you would know. So Dreamline Transportation could be nothing more than a mailbox. 834.
So it could be one of these mailboxes. Well,
Okay, see you later.
607, Safari Transportation.
What a clean hit, Nick.
It's actually
Very
a money
nicely
wiring
done.
business. 617 Dreamline, inside of there, it's actually a liquor store, and then 617A is a place where there's a bunch of mailboxes, and it says reliable ITT services. How are you doing, man?
I just want to ask you,
Yes, sir.
why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we
to
sensationalizing?
attack our community? What's your final
It's not your community,
We're not
bro.
attacking your community by any means.
Are you making
We're
good money
looking-
from this?
We're looking for fraud. For instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607? It's not there. And why don't you answer? Why don't you answer the question? Where's 617 Dreamline Security?
How much money are you making?
I make money off of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That my job
attacking
is.
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
Fraud is
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right?
Oh, he'll tell you.
Fraud is fraud.
He'll tell you.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud. It's
This
fraud.
absolutely has to do with us being Muslim,
No, it does not.
all right, and us being from Africa. This is a constitutional argument.
No, it's
So I
fraud.
want us here change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, you don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying
No,
that.
no.
We're not
Because
saying that.
When I go
Sir,
into
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're
when
talking.
I go onto your comments,
My comments.
what I see is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You are listen.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken to concentration camps. Just like
How?
the Japanese
Concentration
community,
camps.
right? You're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right?
They call it concentration camps. It's like, no, we're going to send you back to your fucking country where you came from because you're here in America defrauding American taxpayers. That's what's happening. And these people don't want to understand that. They refuse to understand anything close to that. That's what's actually happening.
Something that
Answer
can
the question.
listen.
Where
That's something
where
that
is
can,
the transportation
something
vehicle
that can
company?
jeopardize
Answer the
the
question.
safety and the protection of
This
the
is
Somali
fraud.
community.
We're talking
If
about fraud,
anything
sir.
happens to the Somali
We're talking about
community,
fraud.
listen, I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching
You're
you.
getting very close.
I'm not physically
You're
touching
very
you.
close.
No, I'm not physically touching you.
This is fraud.
What
We're talking
you're
about
doing,
fraud.
what
You're
what
defending
doing,
fraud.
When
You're
I go
defending
into your
fraud.
comments,
You're defending fraud.
people who hate Muslims
People
want us
can-
out of here
People can say
for
what they
being
want. I'm
Muslim
not censoring
are
anything.
using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material.
See, they're making it into a race thing like they always do. They're turning it into a race problem, but it's not a race problem. It's a fraud problem. And we all know that.
Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the Constitution. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about
You know,
fraud.
what
We're
you
asking
do,
about fraud.
you hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate
You
Muslims.
hate no- you
We're
know
talking
you
about
hate
fraud.
Muslims.
We're talking
Why are
about
you
fraud.
attacking us?
This
Are we
is
the only
fraud.
community
It's
that
fraud.
suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about
Are we
fraud.
the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
This
That's
is
not
about
true.
fraud.
There's what? 300
They're not the
Somali
only
people?
community, but
There's actually 800.
Don't keep talking.
So,
You speak English?
transportation
He-
companies.
This security doesn't even speak English. Listen,
Yeah,
let me tell you
so
something.
see, this isn't a race issue,
Listen,
sir.
let me
This
tell
is
you
about fraud.
they are so combative. And I just wanted to make that point real quick.
We have what? 1,000 providers?
Yeah, you guys have a.
Even it's 2,000 providers.
Okay,
You
sir.
want to sacrifice the safety of
Sir.
80,000 people
We're not
because of fucking 2,000 providers? Are you fucking mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
You're
Where's the transportation
sensationalizing.
company?
What about the mass
Listen.
shooting happens in Minnesota? It will be because of you. And
This is what happens when we let too many people into our country who are, one, probably not legally even here, and two, when they hate us. They fucking hate us. These other countries do not like us. They do not admire this country. They don't acknowledge themselves as Americans, and we need to understand that. And you look at these people and how violent and hostile they are, and it's just like, and then there's fraud on top of it, and they don't even want to acknowledge it. And then now imagine that we have Democrats and liberals and rhino Republicans who are defending these people. It's like, absolutely not. We need more people going out there doing what Nick Shirley is doing and exposing these people.
any Somali gets hurt in Minnesota is because of Nick fucking Shirley.
This is-
Any Somali,
this is about
if
fraud.
one single Somali gets hurt.
This is about fraud,
it's
sir.
because of you sensationalize, you son of a bitch. Sensationalize.
Wow,
Nope.
you're
Get
very
the fuck
nice.
out of my neighborhood.
Very nice.
Get the fuck out of my
Sir,
neighborhood.
can you tell me where the
Get the
transportation
fuck
company
out
is?
of my neighborhood. We don't want you here. Get the fuck out of here.
Sounds like he's the racist one against white people, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like these Somalians are kind of more racist towards white people? Isn't it kind of weird how that works? But I don't know. Maybe it's just my observation.
Calm down, sir.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sir, this is
You want
not
to
fraud.
sensationalize? You want to clicks?
You're
You got clicks.
sensationalizing yourself,
You
sir.
wanted clicks?
You're
You
sensationalizing
got
yourself.
clicks. You wanted clicks? You wanted YouTube?
Tell me where the
You
transportation
wanted
vehicle
YouTube
is.
clicks? You got YouTube clicks. Now get the fuck out of our community.
Tell me where
No,
the
you're going to get out of
transportation
our community,
vehicle is. Tell me
buddy.
where the-
You
This is
stupid
about fraud.
racist motherfucker.
You're getting out of our community, bud. Just letting you know that. And so are your people. If you're Somali and you're committing fraud in America, your community, your people, this is our community. our people, and you're going to be leaving our country. And let's just make that very clear. Legally, lawfully, peacefully, and because of not race, but because of fraud and this kind of shit.
Say I don't want
This is
Muslims
about
here.
fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims here. Say it.
We
I
won't
want
say
to
that
change the
because that's not
Constitution.
true.
No, I don't
And I
want to
want
change
to
the
change freedom of
Constitution.
religion, and I don't want Muslim Somalis in Minnesota to kick them out.
Not about
I was
race.
born in this country. You have to take the passport away from me. That is what you are.
Sir, we're not talking.
Change the
This
Constitution.
is about fraud. This is about fraud.
Fuck out of our community.
He's literally going rabid.
Stupid fucking community.
Tell me what
Oh
the
my
transportation
gosh.
company is then.
Get the fuck out of here.
Obviously, for this video, we had to get security because look at this now. Alright, we're going. We're going. But there is no transportation company there. Fraud. There were no transportation companies.
No, none.
This isn't about race. This isn't against religion. This is about fraud. We're fighting
Absolutely.
fraud here. We're not fighting a race.
Well, and this is what happens when you put a spotlight on fraud. The people who are benefiting become extremely violent. And the Somalis are the most violent people I have ever met in my whole life.
Is
Yeah.
he gonna answer the question?
Yeah.
Where
They
is
are.
transportation?
He couldn't answer the question. All he did was make it about race and then issue threats.
Neither business was there or operating, and giving a very conservative estimate based off of David's numbers and other numbers online, it's fair to say each business is operating with an average of 20 vehicles and with a much lower and generous rate of $25 per trip. And with 10 alleged trips a day, each business is pulling an estimate of $1.3 million in gross revenue. And with those two locations alone, there's over $2.6 million in estimated fraud.
There's already $2.6 million in the fraud counter just for this second part 2 expose. And in the first one, it was up to $110 million, which turned into like $250 million when we considered all of the fraud that happened over the past decade and through all of these other different organizations and fake organizations.
All right, we're going to the next location.
What's interesting, Nick, is that one of the places we just visited, the 617 Cedar Avenue South, that's for Dreamline Transportation. That's the address listed with the state of Minnesota. But the place that we're going right now is going to have vans that say Dreamline Transportation on them, but they haven't moved in months and months. You'll see they're covered with snow. There will be no tire tracks. And so why are they using this address? And all that was in there was a liquor store. And he told us to talk to the guy next door, and those were all just mailboxes. And then the guy next door said, go talk to him. I said, we just talked to him. Obviously, the cover up, and you see how they all stick together, and it's all this intimidation. And thank God we had the security we did there, because that would have been bad.
Yep.
Now we're outside of this transportation vehicle company right here.
Yeah, and so you can see these are the vans that say Dreamline. You can see the sticker on the window and the numbers on the rear. None of these vehicles have moved in 8 months. I've been taking date stamp photos. All these vehicles are in the exact same spot they were 8 months ago. And look, there's
Wow.
no tire tracks, so they haven't moved.
And this van as well, this is Dreamline. Dreamline was the location where we got chased out from the Somalis on 617 Cedar. And this is a vehicle from Dreamline that actually didn't even exist. It was a liquor store. And now it's here, and the vans haven't moved at all. Literally. No vans and no tire tracks anywhere. If these vans are being used to transport people, whether it be healthcare, childcare, there would be snow tracks. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 vehicles here. No snow tracks anywhere. These vehicles are not being used, and these transportation companies are making lots of money. Meanwhile, there's actually nothing to show for it. Here's all of the vehicles right here. And the vehicles that are coming in and out, like this Toyota, it does not have anything to do with transportation company because there's no stickers on it and there's snow tracks. But the vehicles that are supposed to be used for transportation are literally locked in. Snow is building, icicles. No one's even came out to remove the snow off the window. These transportation vehicles are not moving. And then right here, David has more paperwork.
Very interesting.
Mountain. And there's 3 different companies in the same address.
Yeah.
So when we talk about how all these companies are intertwined, this is a perfect example of that. And this is why these transportation companies are so essential to the fraud in Minnesota, because they allow the fraud to be supported, as the majority of the fraud is from welfare programs like daycares, autism centers, and adult daycares, and healthcare services. They need to leave a paper trail to make it look like something is happening. Therefore, they use these transportation companies to create that paper trail by saying they're moving people from an adult daycare to a healthcare provider, for example, but they actually never provide the service at the healthcare provider. But that paper trail allows them to continue to bill the state for the money, and everyone gets paid. That's why this fraud is so deep and hard to dismantle, because quite literally everyone is involved.
And it's all because the state of Minnesota never checks.
All right, so this is actually the location for Silver Mountain Inc., LLC, and Co. Let's see if any. Yes, we're wondering where Silver Mountain.
Silver Mountain?
Silver Mountain.
Oh, I don't know that.
It says 2722 Park Avenue.
Where is
Silver Mountain here?
Fuck Silver Mountain. You don't have a permission to do that.
Okay,
You
so
went
Silver
to-
Mountain.
Oh shit.
The name's that fuck Silver Mountain, it's just Silver Mountain.
When you come-
All right, sir. What? So Silver Mountain does not exist.
You're making a business.
Park
You have millions of people watching you. You're making business.
Okay, sir.
You're exposing my fraud. You're exposing my fraud. Millions of people are watching you expose my fraud. Please do not do that. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
Get these
millions
people
of
outta
watching.
here.
Yes. Where is Silver
Arrests,
Mountain? Okay.
deportations.
Okay, well that's what we're looking for. All right, we're moving on. So Silver Mountain does not exist. David, we're just simply asking for where is Silver Mountain Home
Can't
Healthcare?
find any of these companies. I mean, this is shocking. 3 companies are supposed to be in that building, and he's never heard of them. He doesn't know anything about them.
And look, so they don't exist there. Right there, Somali Senior Center and Adult Day Services, a daycare right there. All these welfare companies are in the same location, but their businesses, that business didn't even exist.
It's all fraud, all of it.
So right there is a transportation company, no passenger, just a driver. How come you think when it comes time to take accountability for what's happening, or just to answer simple questions about the fraud, they can't answer?
Well, I think their reaction tells you all you need to know. The reaction is so violent that if there was no fraud going on, they would say, what are you talking about? They would have a civil conversation, but they can't, because they know we're shining the light on the fraud and they have no defense.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
in their mind, being loud and using profanity is their only defense.
Because I'm trying to give them the opportunity to say, where are the transportation companies? Where are the daycare? Where are the children? Where are the companies now? Yet they can't answer.
And to this point, Nick, the transportation companies we've been to, we haven't seen a single vehicle at any of them. In fact, some don't even exist. We can't even find them. We're going to the addresses that are listed on the Secretary of State's website as their business address.
This is a massive parking lot here. We're going to go ask them where their vehicles are. They should not have any excuse as to why they don't have their vehicles here, other than if they are out driving right now. And what's the story behind this business?
Well, this business is new as of March of 2024. It's Muhammad Malim is the registered agent for 713 Minnehaha Avenue East.
Me and David headed into this building, however, the owner was not there. We're here at the suite of Epimonia Transport LLC. There's actually not even a sign here. And anyone here, looks like there's a guy over here.
It couldn't be more
Do
obvious.
you know about Epimonia Transport here?
So there was a transportation company here in 305 for a long time, even before I joined the building a few years ago. He's never really here. I've seen the office a couple times. There's barely anything on there but a couch. And I see him maybe twice a month so.
And there's no transport vehicles outside. Massive parking lot, but no transport.
I've never seen one. I've been here for 3 years and I'm always here. I'm a workaholic. I'm just nonstop here, so I know everybody in the building. And this specific space here is probably the most sketchy out of any other business here. Everyone else is here.
Wow. That's crazy, guys.
Pops in and out.
For instance, this guy
What are we gonna do about this? Is the real question.
Muhammad, he should have his business in 308. There should be transportation vehicles outside. There's nothing.
That's weird that you say 308 because he's always been in 305 for the last 3 years.
Wow, so he's even lying on his public records with the government.
I would assume if he was to make and doing fraud, it makes sense to switch it up and throw people off track. It would be the first thing somebody would do, I would think.
By the way, that's like a normal reaction. That's somebody who probably who genuinely is telling the truth. This guy isn't like lashing out at them. He's not like cussing at them. He's not like causing a huge disturbance. He's just saying like, oh yeah, that's weird how they switched rooms like that. Oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah, nobody told me about that. So you can just see the difference. You can see the guilt versus somebody who might actually like legitimately not know what's going on.
So since the fraud has started to be exposed, Muhammad has left the scene.
5.2 million already in this video, and we're only halfway through.
That guy just said, he confirmed that there was never even been transportation vehicles outside. So Muhammad has completely left the scene. He's nowhere to be found, and this parking lot, massive parking lot, actually never even had any transport vehicles, according to the guy who lives or had his office next to Muhammad. How quick do you think the fraud would dry out here in Minnesota if they were to cut out the transportation side of the fraud?
I think it would have a massive effect, and that the signal that would send would let people know the party's over.
Because if me and you were to go to the doctor, we either have to find a family member, drive ourselves, or pay for an Uber. How come they even have this set up?
Yeah, I tried to arrange a ride with one of these Somali transportation companies. They said they were all full. So now we're at 2833 13th Avenue South in Minneapolis. And there's supposed to be a non-emergency medical transportation company here called Advanced Mobility Incorporated. And what's interesting about this company is that state records show that it first registered with the state of Minnesota in 1999.
And they have been in business for over 26 years.
Yes, correct.
So we're going to go inside.
They must have a lot of vehicles.
So this is Advanced Mobility 2833, boarded up. All these windows are covered right here. We're going to see if we can go inside. There's a bunch of shops in here. We have money transferring shop. We got clothes in here. There's a coffee shop. Let's see if Advanced Mobility is in here. We got spices. Is Advanced Mobility here?
You know, I don't think you guys are allowed to record.
You know where Advanced Mobility is?
Suite 224.
She's recording over there, so. Suite 224. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it? Oh, my name is Nick Shirley. We're just looking for Advanced Mobility. Where's Advanced Mobility at?
Uh-oh.
That's what we're asking.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're looking for Advanced
They're pissed.
Mobility.
Here they come.
Right now.
They're chimping out.
People trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility. Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Oh no, they chimping out. Oh boy.
Now they're pushing us out of here. Where's Advanced Mobility at? That's what we're asking for. Would you like to give a statement on where Advanced Mobility is? So Advanced Mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for? Nick Shirley. Who do you work for?
Who do you work for?
I don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
This is from the state of Minnesota. What do you care about that? Get out of here.
And see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here. Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting.
The double standard.
was We walked in there, and on the state's website, it says it's in suite 224, but it's a one-story building. None of the suites had the number 2 on them. It doesn't exist. And it's been registered since 1999, and it doesn't exist.
All right, next location. David, where are we at?
We're at what's called Ray's, R-A-Y-Z Transportation LLC.
And this is Ray's Transportation. We're on a street. There's no parking lot for any transportation vehicles. Let's see what happens. This is the address for Ray's Transportation. See if anybody is here.
This is crazy. We're already up to $6.5 million of fraud.
Okay, well.
It's just Ray's, R-A-Y-Z.
Well, I think it's confirmed they're not here, David. So it's confirmed that's Ray Transportation. All of these transportation companies.
$7.8 million now.
They're kind of like ghost companies. They exist on paper, but they don't actually exist in person. Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
And what's your message to Tim Walz?
Make a change. Make a change, because there's definitely, even when it comes down to like the kids and stuff, there's definitely stuff that like we need spaces for the things that are going on that they're not doing. We need these type of spaces for it. Now this is some crazy stuff, but I'm glad that you bring light to it. It is a crazy, interesting situation.
And by the way, there's an example of an innocent man again. The guy who just spoke. He's black man. He looks like he might be Somali himself. And he's being cordial. He's being respectful. He's saying, hey, thank you for coming out here and actually investigating this, because we actually need like these real businesses to exist, but they're not. And they're defrauding people. And so this isn't about race. This is about you, the American taxpayer, being defrauded. You work hard every day. You go to your job. You do what you got to do. You slave. You do the work. All for what? So a bunch of Somali illegal, maybe they're legal, maybe they're not, and they make all your money, and they make all this money from grants and through fraud. Come on, it's not okay. You know, it's not okay.
Hey, you keep the false narrative that you be going on. It's a nonsense.
You should get in your car.
More angry Somalis.
You should not be doing that, right? You are creating misinformation. This is not fair.
Oh, that's not
fair for
true.
American people to be doing that. It's not fair. It's not fair what you mean. You cannot be doing that. You're not being fair.
How?
This country is built on fairness. You're not being fair.
Yes,
you cannot come into the community.
Oh my
and be doing
God.
that.
So we shouldn't allow fraud to be happening, right?
Let the legal system do its job.
Well, it's
We
failed.
got a governor. We got an attorney general. Let them do the job. You're not.
Because you know they won't.
Do the job. You're not a prosecutor. If you want to run for office, go ahead, run for office. But you cannot be doing this. This is misinformation.
Your misinformation.
This is information.
These
How's it misinformation, sir? It's from the
This is what you're doing.
state
You
of
coming
Minnesota.
You coming everywhere. Where you coming from?
You see what I mean? We're talking about the facts that's happening here. Sir, so
It's Southside. It's my turf. Get it. Like, fuck you. No, this ain't your turf. This is America, and you're lucky to be here because of fraudulent Democrats who allow fraud to happen so they can get richer.
we were just having a civil conversation. That guy hopped out of his car in the middle of the road. About the fraud that's happening. And he's saying that I'm the bad guy for showing light of what's happening here.
They're passionate people. They don't want this type of stuff either going on or be brought to light. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna come. It's a very tight knit community.
You saw it firsthand how crazy it gets out here. He hopped out in the middle of the intersection.
Yeah, I'll say.
So this isn't about race. You're a black guy. They're black, right? We don't have no ill feelings towards you by any means. We're talking about the fraud that's happening. So God bless you, sir, and thank you very much. Why are we doing this?
So we're doing this, A, because it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
The people of Minnesota and the people of America want this done. Fraud is fraud. And when we try and talk with these people and say, look, the main reason we're doing this is to find out why are all these checks being written by the state of Minnesota for companies that don't even exist. That's what we're trying to figure out. It's not a race issue. It's a fraud issue, and fraud is fraud.
And so what most people don't understand about this fraud is it is literally in the entire state of Minnesota. It's not just in one part of Minneapolis.
Right, and so I think what happens is the people in the suburbs of Minneapolis and St. Paul, they get lulled into a false sense of security because they say, oh, that's in Minneapolis, it doesn't affect us, or that's in St. Paul. And we're showing that this fraud spreads throughout the entire state of Minnesota, including all of the suburbs. And we're going to bring to light exactly what's going on in those respective suburbs.
And that is absolutely true. So many Americans today, maybe yourself, you don't think that this stuff is happening in your hometown. Wherever you live, you may not think that your small businesses that exist on Main Street are these fraudulent businesses, but especially you start going towards the inner city areas of whatever state you live in, especially if you live in a blue state, start looking around. Look for stuff that is weird, like the Quality Learning Center when it's supposed to say Learning Center. Look for those things. You need to be asking questions. You need to be self-aware, right? And we need to be exposing more of this fraud like Nick and Scott are right now.
So what's happening in this suburb of St. Louis Park?
Well, this is one of the Somali NEMT, non-emergency medical transportation companies that's registered with the state of Minnesota in St. Louis Park. And so let's see if this one actually exists.
This is the location of Crescent Transportation. We have no vans outside right now. Does not look like any vans are outside. Let's go inside, see if Crescent Transportation exists. Here we are, and it's an apartment complex. There's no signage of any Crescent Transportation company. Once again, another fraudulent business where they don't even have a storefront to show that this is an apartment complex. So this is an apartment complex right here?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen Crescent Transportation out here?
Nope.
And what do you think about the fraud taking place here in Minnesota?
Huh? I'm a taxpayer. I don't like it.
What's your message to all the fraudsters?
Huh? Prosecute their ass. Take them to jail.
And how do you feel knowing that, for instance, right here, a transportation company that receives money from the government is not even here? It's an apartment complex.
I just said, I don't like it. I'm a taxpayer. I work hard for my money. People out here fraud, they still go to jail.
And should Tim Walz go to jail?
Oh, he tricky too, huh? All them tricky. All the politicians. My daddy never liked none of them.
So that man right there just confirmed that this is an apartment complex.
Right, and so the cities have
The fraud counter this episode is now up to $9.1 million.
specific rules governing operating businesses out of apartments. They do not allow transportation companies to park vehicles in an apartment parking lot. None of the cities in the Twin Cities allow that.
Because even if you were to be running a transportation company out of your apartment, there's nowhere to park the cars.
Well, where are they? There aren't any. Crescent, I don't see anything with Crescent on it anywhere.
More fraud taking place here.
So this is called Hopkins Child Care Center. This facility is licensed to hold 118 children. So this should be a really big facility. And this year alone, they have received $2.25 million from the state of Minnesota. And last year, they received $1.92 million from the state of Minnesota. And this facility, in the past 5 years, has been in the top 10 for the most money received from the state of Minnesota.
So there should be plenty of children. There should be footprints of children walking in there.
This should be a very busy place, yes.
So this right here is Hopkins Child Care Center. They're receiving over $2 million a year. All of the windows are completely blacked out. You can't even get in. And for a place that's supposed to have over 100 children, there's no footprints anywhere going into the store. And it's locked. Midday right now. This is the backside of the daycare. We're ringing the doorbell right now. See if anybody comes. Hello, sir. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, sir.
Get out. Okay, listen. Get out. This is our business.
Yes, sir.
Go this side. Yeah.
It's private. I can be here in the parking lot.
No.
Wait, can we ask you about the daycare? It's all right. Can we ask you about the daycare?
No.
I'm not kid. Sir, I'm not racist. I'm asking.
No. You don't ask me nothing.
$2.25 million.
Get out, you guys. Get out.
$2.5 million.
Get out. This is our business. Get out. Hey, get out. What are you looking for?
We're asking.
Get out.
We are in a war against illegal immigrants, against fraud in this country. And this is what it looks like when too many of these people come into your country and they start taking over the businesses. They start getting all of these rights given to them by Democrats and radical leftists and even rhino Republicans. this is what becomes of your nation. You're getting yelled at, being told that you're wrong in your own country. Isn't that just beautiful? And look at that hand structure there. Look at that nice hand structure. He's even got the thumb through the index finger as he's holding his finger down. Look at that. He's really telling them.
Get out! Get out!
What is this?
Where? This is fucking get out! No! Get lost! Get out! No! Sir!
Get lost!
Can I ask you about the daycare? I have the paperwork right here. What's the need for $2.25 million for a daycare? Get out!
Ugh.
Can you answer the question? No, I don't ask you any question. You can't. Get out! You can't answer the question. Get out! No. Who are you? My name's Nick Shirley. No, I don't give a shit. Get out! Could you answer the question? No, I don't. What's the need for $2.25 million for a daycare? No. $13 million. I don't know about it. Get out! Okay. Get out! And it's licensed for 118 children. Get out! But I don't see any footprints of any children here. I don't see any footprints of any children here. Get out! Get out! Fucking guys! Get out! No, you're asking nothing, man. I'm just asking.
Why do they all repeat themselves?
No, get out! Get out our business! Get out! Sir, this is my brother. You have millions of people watching right now. Can you say what's the need for $2.25 million? And where are the 118 children? Get out! Sir, I'm just asking
What?
Get out! No, you don't ask me any question. Fucking get out! You have the opportunity. Get out! No. You can't ask. You can't ask me nothing.
Unbelievable.
Get out! Get out! Get out, motherfucker! Get out! Sir, get out! No. No.
Look at that face. Just look at the face of these people. Look at that. Look at how angry they are. Look at how much built up anger, hostility. It's just like unreal. Like they hate us. Look at that look.
Sir, just answer the simple question. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. All right, code word has been given. We're out. All right, we gotta get out of here. Sir, just answer the question. Where are the children? No footprints of any children around here. No footprints of any children. They can't even answer the question. We gave them so many opportunities. We gave them plenty of opportunities. Just answer some simple questions. Millions of people are watching right now.
They came out with guns blazing. All one knows where are the children?
Wow.
Children. No footprints in the snow. All of their vehicles were sitting there with 2 feet of snow on them. They haven't moved in months.
The windows are
So wild. Fraud counter is up to 11.35 million.
It's the same thing at all these daycares. 4 men came out. Yet they couldn't answer the simple question. We had it right here. 118 children. $2.25 million this year.
Welcome to Minnesota.
Now this daycare center, how much money has this one received?
So this child care center is called Proud Child Care Center, and it's in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, which is a very high income area. It's a further out suburb from Minneapolis, but there are a lot of multi-billion-dollar homes right in this neighborhood, and this child care got $1.25 million in funding in fiscal year 2025. It got $1.08 million last year. It opened in 2021. Let's go see if we can find any kids.
There should be at least 40 children here. Looking at the snow prints, does not look like there's any snow prints of any young children. And all of these windows are completely blacked out. Let's see if we could just talk to somebody. Could I enroll?
Guys, I'm honestly losing hope in this country. I mean, like, I'm pretty optimistic. I'm pretty patriotic. I believe that America has a great future ahead of it. But Nick Shirley, God bless you, man. You'll probably never hear this because I'm not like a big channel. I don't have millions of subscribers, but we need more Nick Shirleys in the world. If you're watching this, if you're the one person watching this right now, then this is for you. Be inspired. Go change your country. Go save America. And we need to expose these people. And also like and subscribe so I can make more of these and so we can continue exposing fraud, continue exposing foreign entanglements and all of these things. Thank you. And let's get back to the show.
My son Joey in the daycare here. Well, do you have the paperwork where I can enroll a child? Oh, my name's Nick Shirley. I was wondering if I could enroll a child. I have a son named Joey. My name's Nick Shirley. Yeah, I'm just coming out and seeing if I can enroll my child, Joey. We just want to get a statement as to why this daycare needs $1.26 million and if it's even possible to enroll somebody like my child. my imaginary child, Joey. No, you guys can't get the new statement, or can you even give me a paper to enroll a child into the daycare? Just to show that you guys are a legit business. It would debunk all claims if you could just give me a piece of paper saying where to enroll a child. You can't do that. Okay, well, thank you very much, and I hope this.
The question is, are we going to do anything about this? Nick Shirley's doing his part, but are the politicians going to do anything about this? Is Trump going to do anything about this? Is Nick Fuentes going to be right? Is Trump going to do anything? Is Tim Pool going to be right? Or is it Tim Pool? No, Tim Dillon. I just watched Tim Dillon's podcast yesterday night from 3 days ago. But he makes a good point. These people make a good point. Is anything going to be done to these people? Or are we just going to let them continue committing fraud? Like, what's the deal? What's the double standard? Do we get in trouble as American taxpayers for doing anything like this? Of course we do. But these people, we don't even know who they are. Honestly, I don't even think that these people even know what's going on themselves, because the fraud goes to the Tim Walz. And they're the ones who benefit. It's the politicians, the prosecutors, the ones that these Somalis were yelling at Nick Shirley at that he needed to become because he didn't have power because he's not a prosecutor. See, this is the issue. We need more people exposing this stuff, and these people need to go to either prison, alligator Alcatraz, or they just need to be deported, plain and simple. And I think we can all get behind that. I think that's just common sense at this point. Let's go on. There's about 9 minutes left, about 10 minutes left.
It's actually holding 47 children because you guys are receiving $1.26 million in this year alone. So have a great rest of your day. They won't even give us a paper to enroll a child. Could have debunked all their claims. They can't even do it. One of the big talks about the fraud is about Quality Leering Center. It's a daycare that has received $1.9 million. It's licensed for over 99 children.
Get a sweatshirt, guys.
Quality Leering outside. But the big controversy
I think I'm going to buy one.
Leering Center is that Somalians, after the video went live, they all of a sudden start shuffling children into the daycare. But at the same time, the commissioner of children of Minnesota was on a live stream saying they had closed the daycare a week ago.
Quality Learning Center closed just over a week ago.
How much money has this place all received? And what's...
So this is the one that's licensed for 99 children. This fiscal year, they've received 1.9 million. And in fiscal year 2024, they had received about 2.2 million. So about 4 million in the last 2 fiscal years.
We're up in the Quality Learning Center, 1-800-FRAUD, as now it had been confirmed that this place was closed down, and now they're shuffling children into the daycare.
So Tiki Brown said this facility was closed.
She said a week ago.
And now magically it's full of cars. So how can it be closed if people are coming and going?
Fraud. Why do you have everybody?
Okay, this is the owner right here.
Oh, yeah, this guy again.
So how come they said this building was closed? We're trying to speak to the owner. They won't even answer a simple question. Look, now he's going inside.
Sir, don't run though. It looks suspicious when.
And if you didn't notice that, it just said that the fraud counter for this one episode is at $16.61 million.
You run, brother, and you can smile, but bro.
Sir, I'm right here.
He's right here to speak to you.
I'm right here.
Don't do that. Oh,
you can't defend the fraud.
Oh, come on, at the daycare, do it. Hey, not at the daycare, doing the middle finger.
We have like 100 cameras on it. Now, both of these people have interesting ties with politicians inside Minnesota. For instance, the man who's running the daycare, he was celebrating with Mayor Fry after he won re-election of mayor inside of Minneapolis. And then this lady right here seems to be a friend of Ilhan Omar, as she has photos with her outside of the restaurant. And she also has videos of her giving a tour to a separate daycare to Mayor Fry. It really makes you wonder why these politicians haven't fought against the fraud, knowing that it's happening in locations like Quality Learning Center. Meanwhile, they're taking photos and celebrating with them at events. What's your message to people about the fraud here in Minnesota?
This is part of the cover-up. They're trying to cover their tracks. So let me say this on camera. If you can prove that any of the information that I have here is false, I'll give you $100,000 cash. If any of it's false or inaccurate in any way, anybody want to take me up? And if you can't prove it, you have to give me $100.
So you saying all that's real?
100%. I'll give you $100,000 if you can disprove my information.
See, they are
Now they're
silent.
interested.
Silent.
Anybody? Your $100 versus my 100,000 cash.
They're all silent. What do you think about the fraud here?
Hey, the fraud here in Minnesota, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. Like, what do you mean specifically? What do you mean?
Yeah, how do you feel about this daycare, for instance, receiving $1.9 million? And they couldn't even spell learning right. They spelled leering.
Hey, man, Somalis, they're an interesting creature. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say too much. I'm already too hot. But, I mean, Tim Walz, you gotta solve this stuff. Minnesota really cracked down on this because they've been doing this for years. So
Should Tim Walz be prosecuted?
hell yeah.
And at this point,
Nice.
you're probably wondering where
Way to tell
all
the truth, bud.
millions and billions of dollars has gone. Well, it's been well tracked that a lot of the money, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, has been funneled through TSA at the airport inside of Minnesota. It's been well tracked and documented. Even in 2017, there was reports coming from the local Fox News station, and I was actually able to meet up with a whistleblower who used to work as an agent at TSA on the side of narcotics, and he saw millions of dollars go through TSA. And what kind of fraud did you see take place here in Minnesota?
So I worked for the airport police for 31 years. 24 of those years I worked in narcotics at MSP Airport. And my recollection was from about 2015-16 to 2021 when I retired. I would get emails from our dispatch saying like 2 male Somali descent individuals. They would give us their names. They claimed the cash, that they had a large amount of cash at the checkpoints. We'd get all this information in an email, and I believe they would send it right away. So TSA would contact our dispatch telling us this, then our dispatch would relay the info via email to us.
And how much was the money?
The money, the smallest amount in a suitcase that I heard was like $750,000. But generally, it was anywhere from $1 million to $6 million in a suitcase.
750,000 minimum to 6 million in one suitcase, or at least in multiple suitcases. That's insane. Think about $6 million and what that can do for your life today if you had it. What would you do if you had $6 million right now? I can tell you, I'd probably invest in some real estate. I'd buy some gold. I'd help my family out, of course. I'd get out of any debt I had still. You know, I mean, life would be pretty good. Pay off those college student loans. I am 27 years old. I mean, $6 million, that would really help somebody like me. That would help me as an entrepreneur. I could certainly grow my own businesses, which are not fraud. See, it's like if we were given this money that our politicians are screwing us over out of, then maybe we'd be able to actually have money. Maybe we'd be able to afford the credit card payments. And I'm not talking about you specifically or anybody specifically, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's true that these people need to be held accountable. $750,000 to $6 million in one suitcase. Come on, what are we allowing to happen, and why are we allowing it?
There usually was, as far as I can remember, there was always 2 individuals traveling. So you would have maybe one guy with 2 points.
And sorry, it's like, my thing is, this guy's a former police officer. I'm a police officer. I'm a former cop. I'm an ex-cop. And it's like, if I saw that, I'm reporting that. I want a piece of that as a reward or something. Like, no. Like, these cops, if you're a part of the law enforcement, it's your job to be a part of the expose. You need to expose them. If you're a police officer, you need to be the bigger person. You got to be willing to be the Nick Shirley. And I really believe that. And if you're not in a position where you can, then perhaps there's more important things to aspire for. And again, I'm not just saying, go and ruin your career and everything you have, but it's like, what's right is right. Justice is justice. And it's not right that millions of Americans are being disenfranchised while these illegal immigrants, half of them at least, these Somalis, probably not even here legally, all here because of Ilhan Omar, who also needs to be behind bars. She should be in a gulag in Guantanamo Bay, but okay, let's just allow her to run again for re-election, right? Anyways, this is almost over. Let's finish it up.
2 million and another guy with 3 million. And
at airports, you're able to take $10,000 without declaring it. How are these guys able to take millions of dollars?
because as far as I know, as long as they declared it, they were fine. So then TSA would contact HSI and Customs, and I'm sure they got the information. We got the information. My administration knew about it, and I trust that they sent that on to
I trust
state officials on this, but nothing was ever.
I trust that my superiors got that. It's like, dude, I'll tell you right now, as a police officer, I've requested training and I found that training in the trash can. Okay. I've requested training in different things in law enforcement, and politics just gets in the way. Or there are certain reasons, perhaps your training requests or your submissions of evidence for something you might be trying to expose. Guess what? Somehow it's going to be lost in the shredder. And so it's like, to think that you can trust anybody with this kind of information is just complete nonsense. You as a police officer, if you're in his position, if you're in Nick Shirley's position, you need to go and expose these people right out of the gate.
Done the whole time I was there. I talked to one individual. We were going after narcotic cash leaving the airport. This was always fraud. We had no nexus to that this cash was related to narcotics. So our hands were kind of tied. We couldn't do a whole lot.
How do you suspect these Somalians had millions of dollars to move in an airport?
We would rack our heads all the time, like, where are they getting this?
Bitcoin, crypto, that's part of it.
And I had heard about these daycares and whatnot, but I mean, I thought at the time, okay, maybe they had 10 daycares, but apparently they have a lot more than that. We were all just racking our heads trying to figure this out.
So you openly saw just millions of dollars get moved through the airports.
I saw one time, I saw an open suitcase with the cash because we were looking into seeing if it was narcotics related, which it was not.
How much money do you think moved through the airport in your time?
Millions, literally millions and millions. I mean, we're talking for a good 5-6 years, you're talking, I don't know, 5 to 6 million a week. It would happen twice a week. You would get twice a week where there would be somebody flying, 2 people flying out with $1 to 2 to 3 to 4 or $5 million twice a week, every week, without fail.
And where were those people traveling to?
So this is the word I got, that they would fly to Atlanta, take a flight from Atlanta to Dubai, and then apparently what I had heard was it was too dangerous to go any further with it, so they'd wire the money to Somalia. Whether they scraped a whole bunch off the top and did that, I don't know.
Wow, so take the money from Minnesota, take it to Atlanta, and then take it to Dubai, and then from Dubai they then wire the money.
Correct. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I was told by other investigators.
So all the taxpayers' dollars were getting funneled through the airports and then taken to Dubai to be sent to Somalia.
Yes. It appears that's how it all went down. Yes.
It is time to hold up all fraudsters and corrupt politicians accountable. We all work too hard for billions of dollars to be stolen. Journalism that creates change. Thank you for all supporting and sharing. Thank you, Nick Shirley, for your bravery, for doing the right thing, for truly standing for the truth, for standing for what's right. And Elon Musk even ended up retweeting that. And so that's pretty awesome. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me stop sharing the screen. Stop screen sharing. This is the first live stream. I know I didn't get any viewers on it, but this is kind of a practice run. I'm just seeing how it goes here. So anyways, with that being said, like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Nick Shirley, and everybody else. Be sure to do the same thing. Expose fraud, do what's right, and expose these people. We can't let fraud just take over our country with no accountability. Tim Walz needs to go to prison. Ilhan Omar, she needs to go to prison. She needs to be completely deported. These people need to be deported. Simple as that. When we're opening our back door to fraud and we're making it legal because Democrats and radical politicians are doing that, what can we really expect? Anyways, I'll see you.